Okay, one second. Welcome to Extol Live. I'm Angie Fenton with Emily Oliver Jones from Greater Clark Education Foundation. We're here at Jeffersonville High School. First and foremost, thanks to NWSB, otherwise known as New Washington State Bank, for sponsoring Extol Live. We decided to go remote because what better way to celebrate post-Labor Day fun than with teachers? And Emily, so you explain, I mean, one, we've got this amazing bus behind us, but what are we doing today?
So today, the Teacher Supply Bus is making its first tour of the school season at Jeffersonville High School. And so this is an initiative that our Education Foundation started to allow educators the opportunity to come on the bus and shop for supplies for free.
I always love this. What is the number one item that your educators request?
So it'd be so funny if we could scan over there right now and let them shout it, but I am pretty confident they're going to say dry erase markers,
yes,
or they're going to say pencils, and probably third is going to be tissues.
Now, send out a press release. I see that the News and Tribune has just arrived. We appreciate the News and Tribune for always responding to community events and things, especially Greater Clark Education Foundation events like this. Thank you so much to Wave 3. Wave 3 has already been here. When it comes to community support, because that's part of the benefit of media that helps get the word out like this, people love our teachers. What can they do to help?
So one way that they can help this project is to reach out to our Education Foundation. We host supply drives in the summer, so all of our supply drives are pretty much finished for the season, but we are already looking for people to partner with us next year. We also have a couple sponsorships left. So each school requires a monetary sponsorship, and so that business is allowed to come in, sponsor, and help with that giving day, which is super fun. And we always have our Amazon wish list available, so if you're not following the foundation on our Facebook page, go check that out.
You should.
And you can always see what our needs are for the bus.
Okay, well, coming up, we're going to talk about who the sponsor is today, and they are fantastic, not just in this community, but in the greater region as well. We appreciate them so much. But first, we also appreciate the sponsor of Extol Live, and that would be, again, NWSB, otherwise known as New Washington State Bank.
Since our humble beginnings in 1908 as New Washington State Bank, we have offered banking the way you want it. Now known as NWSB, we have branches in the communities of Henryville, Charlestown, Borden, Jeffersonville, Sellersburg, Scottsburg, River Ridge, New Albany, and coming in 2022, a state-of-the-art branch in downtown Jeffersonville. As a local bank, all decisions are made right here in Southern Indiana. Our customers enjoy the personal relationships, and we value opportunities to show community support throughout the region. At NWSB, we offer myriad services and modern technology, from online banking to mobile apps with check capture. And we are always here to serve you face-to-face with a smile. At NWSB, you'll find banking the way you want it.
Happy post-Labor Day. I'm Angie Fenton with Extol Live, presented by NWSB, otherwise known as New Washington State Bank. My glasses are fogging up because it's been that kind of day. I'm with Emily Oliver Jones, who's the Executive Director of the Greater Clark Education Foundation. And again, Emily, just a minute ago before the commercial break, you established where we are. So first of all, where are we again?
We're at Jeffersonville High School.
And the line of educators who are lining up for the teacher supply bus is amazing.
Yep.
We have Catherine Harrington, who's videographer, photographer behind us. She's going to take a little pan of that so you can see and explain again what is it that our teachers are doing today, because it's a treat.
Yeah, so this is the first launch for Greater Clark County Schools, our teacher supply bus, and Jeffersonville High School staff is having the opportunity to jump on this bus and shop for school supplies for free, Angie. Free.
And I mean, we hear from teachers before the school year starts. I mean, you know, teachers who are spending their own money on supplies. So this really is a big deal, and it's a way to let them know how much we appreciate them.
Yes, absolutely. There was a survey done that showed on a national average that educators spend $1,000 out of their own pocket. Like, we have business expenses, like reports, right? But we can write things off, but teachers don't have that. And so we just want to partner with our teachers to let them know that they're seen and they're valued and that we're on their team. And so if this offsets some of the costs that they're spending out of their own pocket, then that's worth it to us.
Now, another thing, like when you said, partnering with things like this, one of the benefits of teacher supply bus stops is that people get to show the love to the educators. So who's the sponsor of today at Jeffersonville High School?
Yeah, so today's sponsor is Eastside Christian Church. They were just here. They had another appointment, so they had to run off. But shout out to the Eastside Christian Church congregation for supporting this bus with a sponsorship. It means so much to us. It allows us to literally keep the wheels rolling on the bus. So great people there and doing great work in their community out even beyond this bus. So
we saw that line. I'm going to let Catherine go ahead and show that line again. We've got educators who are lined up and they're waiting for free supplies that have been donated. It's to show the love. It's to assist in ways that that are so necessary, not just in Greater Clark, but this is a nationwide endeavor and people should be modeling it. But the bus is amazing. Emily, who drove the teacher supply bus here today?
That's me. I drive the teacher supply bus. I know.
I'm in love with that.
I get that question a lot. They're like, "Are you drive this bus?" I'm like,
yes.
I do. And a little side note is that I coached cheerleading for 10 years, a long time ago. So I drove a little mini bus a lot. So this is a lot easier than that. I don't have kids on the bus or students on the bus, so I've got this.
I have no worries about that. We'll go on the bus, maybe take a peek in just a little bit. But there's another, well, it's not really a bus, it's more like a truck that's here.
Yes.
What do we have also?
We have a food truck. So the Education Foundation sponsored lunch for all of the Jeff High staff. And so Airmark is just a great food services for Greater Clark, also a great partner of our foundation, and they make delicious food.
They do make delicious food. We have, and we'll remind people of this, one of the hottest events that is coming up. Oh my goodness, next week. It's coming up next week.
Yep. Women for Greater?
Yes.
Yes. Women for Greater is next Wednesday, maybe 2 Wednesdays from now.
Yes.
It's September the 14th. And so it's 100 attendees coming together, giving $100 for their ticket. And we raise over $10,000 for the arts in Greater Clark. So it's going to be we're actually almost sold out. We have less than like 15 tickets left. So if they haven't got their tickets, they need to go get them.
And you need to go get them. Yeah. And also, one, to support our Greater Clark educators, because that is foremost the mission. But if you've never been to Women for Greater, you need to just explain a little bit why that's such a much loved event.
So we actually have a very fun purse raffle that we have. Last year we had around 30 purses, with the grand prize being the Louis Vuitton purse. But this year we have over 50 purses in our purse raffle. So you can hear pin drops when we go to call those names for those winners. So it's a lot of fun, and we really get into it.
That's for sure. Catherine, that line, we have Catherine Harrington, our videographer, photographer, who's going to show you again. That line is getting longer, which means that our teachers are not only ready for free supplies, but also for free lunch provided by Aramark. And again, Eastside Christian Church today is the sponsor of your stop that's right here.
Yes, ma'am. So it takes a lot of people working together to make it happen.
And again, thanks to Wave 3 for taking the time. We know that a post-Labor Day event can be a little bit difficult, but then also to News and Tribune as well. So I also think we may have, I think maybe WLKY just showed up as well, but we'll check that out in just a minute. What we're going to check out right now, one of the things that the Greater Clark Education Foundation has done, and Emily has schooled us at Extol, is highlight various alumni over the years. And one of our favorites was recently on Extol Live, the one and only Chris Jackson, president of Dan Christianity Excavating. Go ahead and take a look.
I've stayed so tied to this school because I live here in the community. I've always had a great love for this school, all the way from kindergarten to when I graduated. I love the community. It seems that in the business world, I keep relating back to them. I come in contact with them in all different aspects of business. And then also, I've got so many employees that were former classmates and upperclassmen and lowerclassmen that I know the history of how they worked in school. I know how they were in their athletic programs. I've seen them grow over the years. So when you hire somebody that you've known all your life, you know they're going to be a good employee before they ever walk in the door for their first day at work. I remember walking the halls, and that was my favorite part of the day actually, because I'm very social and I like to talk. So I didn't get to talk during class. So as soon as we were in the halls walking, I'd be talking to everybody, ask them how they're doing, making friends with them. You know, that's my favorite part of the day, was social time. So ever since I was a little kid in kindergarten, I'd look over here every time that they had tractor day at the high school and part of the FFA class. And I would look across there from the elementary across Poplar Street and see all the tractors lined up, and I always dreamed, one day I want to drive my tractor to school. That's going to be neat. So as it got closer there, I got to drive. When I was a freshman in high school, I drove my tractor to school. And it was pretty cool. And knowing that all the little kids are watching across the streets actually is the favorite part about it. Whenever you get there to that actual time to do it, it's actually not so much for you, it's for all the little kids get to see it, and it's a thrill to them. My thoughts of receiving the honor of Alumni of the Year is, on one hand, you know, I don't know that I deserve it all the way, because it seems like to me I'm still almost like a high schooler, even though I've been out 19 years. Time's flying so fast. It don't seem like I should be able to be Alumni of the Year yet. But I couldn't ask for a better award for myself, because I'm so proud to be from New Washington and so ingrained in the community that I was able to receive this.
Thanks so much for
Thank you.
joining us for Extol Live, presented by NWSB with Emily Oliver Jones. She's Executive Director of the Greater Clark Education Foundation. The sun is coming out here at Jeffersonville High School. Teachers are lining up for the teacher supply bus. Today's stop, sponsored by Eastside Christian Church. We love that. You brought one of your favorite educators out, and I'm going to hand over my little mobile microphone right now. You can introduce him, actually. I think that's
This is Mr. Hawkins at Jeffersonville High School.
Mr. Hawkins, what is it about the teacher supply bus?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, it puts everything in one place. I mean, it's a constant struggle. You know, teachers are always going, it's not just the beginning of the year thing, it is a constant thing. And to have everything in one place at your school, it's just one more thing off your plate. It's great.
We know it has been, teachers always, I've always revered them, my teachers of my family. We know that it is a big challenge sometimes, regardless in the most normal of years, but what you all have been through. What is this like for morale?
Oh, I think it's really good. It shows that other entities out there, be it churches or other donors, the Educational Foundation, they are paying attention to what we do, and they value it because they're putting their money where their mouth is. So that really helps us, know that you're kind of not alone on an island out there by yourself.
Absolutely. We appreciate what you do. And then, I have to ask this favorite supply that you got today.
Well, the one we go through the most is probably tissues, believe it or not.
That was my top three. Okay.
Because the kids, I see almost 200 kids in a given day.
Right.
So if every kid only needs one, well, they go quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably the one that's most used, but they're all greatly appreciated.
Well, you are greatly appreciated. Thank you for taking the time, and we want to make
thank
sure
you.
free lunch.
Yes, grab a
Now
bite of my
for
lunch.
even
Yeah.
better. Thank you.
We're going to go
Thank
ahead
you,
and have Catherine show that line. And like I said, the sun is coming out here at Jeffersonville High School. And what's this like for you, Emily? Does this ever get old?
So this project is actually a lot of work. Like I said earlier, we have a lot of parties that make it possible, but to see the fruits of the labor from all of that is so rewarding. It fuels me to want to do more for them. And so when they go on there and get excited about a pencil or a marker, and then if it's this right brand, then they do cartwheels. I've found a lot of joy in that. So.
And this is something, though, one of the biggest things the community can do is follow along on your Facebook page, on your social media, so they know what the needs are.
Yep. So Greater Clark Education Foundation Facebook page, and we're always posting on their needs and how they can get involved.
Okay. Well, our live is going to be coming to an end very shortly here. We are so grateful. So we've now seen Wave 3, News and Tribune is here, WLKY is here, and WHS 11 is here. And that is tremendous. We really appreciate you. We also appreciate our sponsors of Extol Live, and that includes Heritage Ford right there in Corydon.
My name is Bert Hodge. I'm the general manager of Heritage Ford. When I was a child, I stuttered and was dyslexic. I started my career assigned to a junior position on a destroyer, and ultimately I commanded 5 ships, 2 minesweepers, 2 frigates, a SEAL commando ship. I got a lot of exposure to some of the world's greatest leaders. When I retired from the Navy, it was with the intent to join my father here at the dealership. My dad has been an important part of this community for 30 years.
The business has changed tremendously since then, but our moral values have remained the same.
This is a business where honor and integrity matter.
If I'm fair to my customers, they'll come back. If I'm fair to myself, I'll be here when they come back.
I'm proud to have served my country, and I'm proud to sell Fords to my community.
Thanks for joining us for Extol Live, presented by NWSB, otherwise known as New Washington State Bank. I'm Angie Fenton, and we've taken it on the road today, just like Emily Oliver Jones with the Greater Clark Education Foundation. She's taken the teacher supply bus on the road today to Jeffersonville High School. It's the first stop of the season. Are you happy so far with the turnout?
I am so excited. As you can see, we have a line of teachers out here. It just shows you the need for what we're doing. So it's been a good day.
What's the best way, Emily, for people to not only follow you, but also to rise to the occasion? Because you put out calls for help on how to benefit our educators.
Yes, so we also need, again, just sponsorships for the bus. So if we have a few schools that have not had a sponsorship committed yet. So if you're interested in that and you're a business, please reach out to our foundation. We can give you more information. And the fun part about that is you get to be a part of these days. You get to go to the school and help pass out the supplies. And there's so much joy that can be found in that. So that's definitely a way that they could help.
Well, we had Eastside Christian Church here as the sponsor, and they actually had another commitment today, but they were here hands-on, and I know that they appreciated being able to love on our educators.
Yeah. Yes, I think so.
Well, and also we want to thank media that took the time to be here. We have the News and Tribune, we've seen Wave 3, and now WHS 11 and WLKY have showed up, and we appreciate that. So we've got to get Emily to some interviews that are going to be on television. But since we're in Jeffersonville and we're sharing the love, we thought that we'd share a little post-Labor Day love with some of our favorite felines from just down the road. Thanks so much for joining us today for Extol Live, presented by NWSB, otherwise known as New Washington State Bank, which is also the sponsor of Hospice Health, Dancing with Our Southern Indiana Stars on September 13th. But today we're talking all about the educators. Emily Oliver Jones, you can come back on in here. I still have your microphone right there, but we're wrapping so that she can do a couple of TV interviews. We appreciate the media that's taken the time to be here. But for the Greater Clark Education Foundation, if you had to pick, Emily, what's the most important part of the mission that you want the public to know?
I think the most important part of our mission is that we can't do this alone.
Yeah.
So we need people to, if you don't know who we are and what we're doing, find out who we are and what we're doing. It's not always about the dollar, but it's about connecting people or letting us know about the challenges that you see in public education or in Greater Clark, that maybe we can come alongside and be a part of the solution. So, yeah.
And can I just stop for a second to tell you something about this lady right here? Like she said, she used to drive cheerleaders. She's a cheerleading coach. Emily is the biggest cheerleader for educators, and the amount of time and effort and heart that you put into this is, I mean, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal, Emily. I mean, it's like 1 degree of separation of Emily Oliver Jones, because I think everybody knows her, but it is truly visible in everything that you do, how much these teachers mean to you. So it is our pleasure to have met you. Now, Emily's got to go and do TV interviews, but go ahead. I'm going to have Catherine, let's take a peek inside of the bus. Come on back here. Because we haven't done that yet. I just want you to get a little look inside. I know it'll be kind of dark because we're going from outside to inside, but look at all of those supplies that people have donated, that businesses have donated money to ensure that educators have what they need. The number one requested item from teachers is dry erase markers. Although Mr. Hawkins, we spoke with him just a little bit ago, and I would have to say he says tissues as well. He reaches over 200 students a day, and if every kid needed a tissue, but you know that adds up. And like Emily said earlier, the average teacher spends $1,000 of their own money on school supplies, and Greater Clark Educational Foundation is working hard to ensure that it doesn't have to be that way. Emily said that she's still looking for some sponsors for additional stops at schools. We're at Jeffersonville High School today. Please follow Greater Clark Ed Foundation's Facebook page for calls to action, for ways to reach Emily if you're interested in sponsoring or donating supplies, or just knowing about events and things that go to benefit Greater Clark Education Foundation. For Extol Live, presented by NWSB, otherwise known as New Washington State Bank, and with videographer Catherine Harrington, I'm Angie Fenton. Hope you have a great rest of your hopefully short week.